would you advise any startups here who are thinking about doing an ICO to do an ICO? What I'm hearing from all of you is you've invested in ICOs. You don't feel like this is an instrument that you would like to invest in, and rather put in capital and help companies to do it.
So, like
So
I said,
who is it
as
for?
an individual, I don't get excited about it. As a fund, I'm very much excited about it. Because as a fund, I can...
Explain me the math of this fund, because I'm still confused. As a VC, what is the math? Yeah.
So, as an early stage investor, let's just say that you're writing a $100,000 check through a fund, right? You can come into a company at a very early stage at a relatively modest valuation, $2 million, $5 million, whatever. You give them that initial capital. You perhaps bring in a few other investors at that early stage. You come in, let's say you buy anywhere from 5 to 20% of the company, right? Now, just like every other venture capital fund does. Now, at some point, the company's going to progress or they're not, right? You're going to make a determination as a venture investor. Do you want to stay involved in this company for the long haul, or do you not? If you don't, you're most likely going to write off that investment right then and there and say, hey, you know what? I can't give you any more money. I don't think you guys are going to go anywhere. Good luck to you, right? If they turn into something, fine. If they don't, you've already written it off. If they are moving in the right direction, you have an opportunity to perhaps put in more money, either in a round or preemptively go to them and say, all right, I'm going to give you more money. We're going to buy a little bit more equity in this round. And this money can only be used to do an ICO. In exchange for that, you're also going to give me tokens in your ICO. Define what your ICO, your token is going to be. Is it going to be a security or is it going to be a utility token? I'm essentially pre-buying some amount of tokens when I do that. When they're ready to do their pre-ICO, now you put money into the tokens directly. So you're no longer buying equity into the company unless it's a security that they're releasing. So you buy more tokens at that point. Now you have a combination of equity and tokens in this company. When they list the tokens, depending on what kind of holding period or lock-in period you have, you can either sell or buy more. If you think this company's doing phenomenally well, and you think that, hey, this is going to be a 50 or 100x just on the tokens, forget about the equity, you can go buy more from the open market. Right?
Sure.
Which right now we can't do as fund managers.
My fear is that people are going after liquidity too much.
I look at it the other way. Liquidity gives me the ability to be more greedy about companies that I like. So I can buy more into those companies without perhaps diluting them further. So it's the opposite. Instead of getting out, how can I increase my position in a company?
Well, it depends on how much fund you have as an investor and which fund cycle you are.
Agreed.
All right.
So I'd like to add another perspective to that, right? So with every venture fund, there is sort of multiple themes that they're going after. So of course, every financial investor has a financial incentive to return certain amount of capital, but at the same time, there is a strategic focus as well. So for example, Rebright's more of a gateway fund for Japanese corporates to invest in India, right? Early stage, we make the first bet. We're essentially doing the guinea pig with the companies. And if these companies evolve to the next stages, we sometimes get our LPs to do direct investments as well, right? These are companies who probably would not be able to take that risk out of their balance sheets in early stage companies. So when it comes to frontier tech, that's one of the focus that we bring as a fund to evaluate the progression of a new technology layer for our corporate partners, for our LPs, right? To give them that perspective of this is what is happening at the ground level and how the technology is evolving and how and at what point should they get involved. So when in some of the investments or in some of the sectors when we get in, it's also that perspective that we go in with. It's not directly related to this is the X amount of return.
Are your LPs asking you to go invest through tokens?
Not necessarily in those words, but they definitely are very interested in the blockchain technology, the new protocol layer.
But through investment medium, is the tokens are the investment medium for your LPs?
If that's what it takes to get into this new technology layer, then
that's what it takes to get money from LPs. Yes.